Welcome everyone to Tarot's Landing, a place where we explore tarot old and new, the classic currents and the cards that feel like they were written for the world we're living in right now. Before we begin, a gentle reminder. Not every reading is for everyone. If what comes through today feels like it's speaking directly to you, then you're in the right place. Welcome. And if you notice this message drifting away from you, that's completely okay. Let it pass like weather. We'll be here and we look forward to seeing you next time. As I settle in, the energy I'm picking up is quiet but uncompromising. It feels like a moment where the noise thins out and something simple, maybe even inconvenient, wants to be seen clearly. There's a sense of stepping out of a loop, of choosing truth over comfort, and of deciding what you will no longer carry, explain, or give away just to keep the peace. Not a dramatic upheaval, more like the kind of clarity that changes your direction with one honest breath. So take a moment, arrive fully, and let's see what's waiting at the table. Alright, so our first card here is Forest Clearing, and immediately this feels like the heart of the reading opening with honesty. This is a card of clarity without decoration, not the kind of clarity that arrives wrapped in comfort, but the kind that simply shows you what's true. I keep getting the sense that for many of you, something is becoming very hard to pretend about. Either a relationship, a pattern, a direction you've been walking, or a truth you already know but haven't wanted to say out loud. What I really love about this card is that it doesn't ask you to solve your whole life. It asks for one honest step. That's it. The seed, not the forest. The next true action, not the perfect plan. For some of you, this is a moment where the noise is finally dropping away, and what remains is very simple. This is working. This is not, I want this. I cannot keep doing that. And even if that simplicity feels sharp, it's actually a gift because it gives you direction. So as the first card, Forest Clearing tells me we're beginning this reading in a space of revelation. Something wants to be seen plainly, and once you see it, you really can't unsee it. Okay, and now we have Echo Chamber as the second card, and this is really important next to Forest Clearing, because where the first card gave us truth, this second card asks, what has been keeping that truth muffled, delayed, or distorted? And for many of you, it feels like this isn't just outside noise, it's a loop, a thought pattern, a story, a fear, maybe even a need for reassurance that keeps sending you back to the same conclusion over and over again. This card can show up when you're hearing a lot, but not actually receiving anything new, when your mind is collecting evidence for what it already believes, when you're surrounded by voices, internal or external, that reflect your fear, your hope, your grievance, your certainty, but not necessarily reality. And in a relationship reading especially, this can be the energy of reading into things instead of asking directly. Filling in the silence, deciding what something means before it's actually been said. So paired with Forest Clearing, I feel this message very strongly. Once clarity arrives, be careful not to drag it back through the old mental maze. Don't let truth get swallowed by overinterpretation. Don't keep asking the same question until you get an answer that feels safer. The medicine in this card is simple, but not easy. Pause, get quiet, and be willing to hear something that doesn't flatter your current story. That's where the real shift is. Shift. And now our third card is Sunrise, and honestly this feels like confirmation, because after Forest Clearing gave us that stark inner truth, and Echo Chamber showed us the loops, the distortions, the stories that keep replaying. Sunrise says the light is coming in anyway. What was confusing is becoming visible. What was vague is separating into pieces you can actually name. This is not chaotic revelation. It's not a tower moment. It's more like something you already sensed is now becoming undeniable. You're able to see the pattern, the motive, the cost, the feeling without so much interference. And I really want to say this, for some of you, the timing matters here. Sunrise is right timing. Not too soon, not too late. So if you've been feeling like, why am I only seeing this now? Because now is when it can actually be used. Now is when the truth is ripened enough to guide action. In a relationship, this can be a conversation or realization that makes things simpler. Not necessarily easier emotionally, but clearer. In work or life direction, it can be that moment where you stop guessing and start knowing what the next step has to be. So, this third card is beautiful because it says the fog is lifting. And once the light shows you what's there, you don't need to keep searching in the dark. So, just to gather this together before we move on, this reading so far is really about truth emerging through the noise. Forest clearing opened with that raw, honest clarity. Echo chamber showed us the mental or emotional loops that can keep that truth distorted. And now sunrise is confirming that the fog is lifting, and what's real is becoming much harder to avoid. So, where we're heading next, I want to see what this clarity is asking of you. What comes from recognizing the pattern and where this honest light actually wants to lead. All right, and now we have Ion Veil in the fourth position. And this is where the reading gets very real, because after forest clearing gave you truth, echo chamber showed the loop, and sunrise brought the light in. Iron Veil asks, what has already been shaping this situation behind the scenes? What unspoken agreement, what silent rule, what habit, fear, loyalty, or avoidance has been quietly deciding things for you? This card doesn't really deal in fantasy, it deals in structure. It says there may be something here that has been held together by what is not being said. A relationship dynamic, a personal pattern, even a work situation where everyone knows something, but no one names it directly. And I'm really feeling that for some of you, this is the moment where pretending not to know is no longer available. You can feel the cost now. You can see what continuing like this would mean. But I want to be careful here because Iron Veil is not saying expose everything dramatically. It's saying be responsible with the truth. Clarity is not a weapon. Honesty is not humiliation. The question is, what needs to be acknowledged and what needs to change because of it? So as the fourth card, this feels like a threshold. The truth is no longer just emotional or intuitive, it's becoming concrete. And now the reading is asking you not just to see clearly, but to decide what you will no longer participate in. And now our fifth card is closed hand, and this feels like the action point of the whole reading. Because after all this clarity, after seeing the truth, seeing the loop, seeing what's actually been shaping things behind the scenes, closed hand says you do not have to keep giving access to what is costing you. You do not have to keep offering your energy, your explanations, your softness, your labor, your emotional availability, just because that's what has kept things moving. This card is about sacred restraint. It's about saying, no, that stays with me. No, that is not up for negotiation. No, I'm not spending myself to make this easier for everyone else. And I want to be clear. This is not punishment and it's not bitterness. It's discernment. For some of you, this is a relationship boundary. For others, it's work, money, time, or even just refusing to over explain a decision you already know is right. And for some of you, this is protecting something tender that is still growing, an idea, a plan, a new self respect, and not exposing it too early. So, as the fifth card, closed hand, says, the next step is not to prove what you know, it's to honour it. Let your no mean no. Let your yes become more intentional and stop giving away what should only be offered by choice. It was a pleasure doing this reading for you. Please subscribe for more readings.